Yes, Rico.
Michael, it is that time.
Oh, the quarterback musical chair thing?
Quarterbacks.
All right.
Yeah, the top quarterbacks for this past week. We're going to start at number 10. Completed a Hail Mary, but he still lost the game. On prime time, I'm going Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know what to tell you. I'll leave the bias out of it, but Rico, there are certain plays he looks great, and there's other plays he looks every bit of 40 years old. Brittle, slow to get up, hurting. He played fine enough. They missed 2 kicks. There was a bogus holding call on a 1-yard touchdown by Braylon Allen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll probably end up being okay with him at 10 for this week. Go ahead.
David, anything? No? Good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with him.
At number 9, new to this category, going to go with Bo Nix. They lose the game, but Bo Nix had 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick. He also rushed for 61 yards.
He's not the reason they lost.
No.
That's all I have to say. I can't. I think this is probably a little high for the weekly performance, but again, it's fine.
Well, a lot of mediocre quarterback play this week. At number 8, we're going to go with a guy who's been on this before. Going to go Jaylen Herz, Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles win, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for 33 yards. They didn't light up the scoreboard, but he accounted for the pass for the 2 touchdowns.
And again, I just have concerns about their offense. It hasn't looked right now in 2 years. And even when they were off to that 10-1 start, it has fallen apart. Sirianni's a nutcase. But for Hurts, that was a calming performance. He got some of his weapons back. He could function. Yeah. This week, it'll be a good test against the Giants because the D is actually not terrible. That's all I could say about my team.
At number 7, he put up great numbers, but I had to penalize him for the interceptions. Baker Mayfield, quarterback for Tampa, 325 yards. He also rushed for 29 yards. He had 4 touchdowns, folks, but he also had 3 picks.
It was a tale of 2 halves.
Yeah.
His first half was brutal.
Was it the best of times and the worst of times?
It was, because the second half was like, oh, my, you're amazing. You're a Super Bowl team right now. Look at this. It was something else, man.
He put up a 50 burger.
He did.
A bright spot for them, like Rachaad White is a stiff. This Bucky Irving has injected some life into that ground game and the passing game. Just something to keep an eye on. Like the Bucs offense they're a real problem.
No, they are. Speaking of keeping an eye on this, Caleb Williams is going to make a push for the Rookie of the Year, but right now at number 6, even in a loss to the Ravens, I'm going with Jaden Daniels. He's been consistently hitting this list. 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. He rushed for 22 yards. He's fun to watch. He's entertaining. Look, it was a lot of hype in this game. Oh, the young versus new. He's going to be okay. But I think the Commanders finally have their QB.
Stud. I'm in love. I'm smitten. I love Jaden Daniels. Everything about him.
I agree. I'm blown away that back-to-back seasons, I know it's not over yet, but back-to-back seasons, you had C.J. Stroud with that rookie year and now Jaden Daniels, who looks really good.
Can I ask a side
Maybe
question?
you want to take the number 2 quarterback instead of the
probably.
top quarterback.
Just a side question. And I know there's no way now he feels this way, but at some point, do you think Ben Johnson regrets not taking that gig? That'd be your operation. I know maybe Ben Johnson doesn't want to be a coach, but you'd have Jaden Daniels. Man, that sure looks like good job security. That sure looks real nice.
No, Mike, I think it's good job security, but I think it's I don't think he wants to be a coach. And that's not to say he cannot coach, but
Right.
I think he's happy. You don't have the responsibility. He doesn't have to go on and meet with the media. He doesn't have to go on 97.1. He doesn't have to do all of this stuff. He could just sit back, design plays, and just look like a pure genius. And
run hook and laterals with your offensive linemen.
Yeah. It works for him. I don't think they're being a coach, but you're right, man. If you would have taken that Commander's job, oh, boy.
Daniels looks legit.
Let's stay in that game at number 5, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson coming in, and he was pretty good. 323 yards. He had a touchdown. He had a pick. He also rushed for 40 yards. They won 30
I will
to
say,
23.
He got away with a ridiculous throw laid across the middle for a touchdown. That ball should be intercepted 99 out of 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
But they won the game. He covered the spread, which I know makes people happy. Good for him.
Yes, he did.
Good for him.
6.5 points spread.
Good for him.
They won by 7. Make the extra point. That's all I got to say. At number 4, we're going to go all the way back to Thursday night game, and I got Brock Purdy in at number 4.
David handled this.
255 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also rushed for 19 yards in a win over Seattle, 36 to 24.
I'm just going to say it must be a week that's weak because Brock Purdy should not be number 4 on this list.
3 touchdowns? No picks?
No. Daniels would be number 4 for me.
Really?
Or I would just slot them down. Lamar Jackson 4, but Purdy would be behind those two.
He also won the game, David.
Okay.
Losing the game, yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That counts too.
Yeah, you got to take the bias out of this rankings. I'm sorry.
That's bias.
I didn't say it. Leave me alone.
You guys are a bunch of haters. I'm not even listening to you. Wow. You know what? Your guy almost made it too, but I could not. I just couldn't put Justin Fields in because he had better rushing numbers. He scored 2 touchdowns running it in. His passing numbers
He stinks.
were merely 145 yards. So
He stinks.
I thought about it, but no. At number 3, let's go to Love. We got Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers.
He's back.
200.
It feels like he's back.
Yeah, 258 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, rushed for 13 yards.
Mobility's not terrible.
Yeah.
He cleaned up the interceptions from 2 weeks ago. Feels like he's rounding into form. Christian Watson also back. That helps. That's their biggest red zone target. That's a guy who they look to. I think he had the most end zone targets of any receiver in football last year. Mm-hmm. That big body helps. It frees up Jaden Reed to do his thing, or Romeo Dobbs, or hell, they got 17 tight ends. Now Tucker Kraft is a thing.
I'm just glad Romeo Dobbs kissed and made up and came back to the team because that wasn't going to go too well. I think his agent was like, hey, Romeo, go say you're sorry. Like a parent grabbing you by the ear. Go and apologize. At number 2, let's go all the way overseas. London, Caleb Williams. He crashed the party. 226 yards, 4 touchdowns, rushed for 56 yards. David, is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Or is he too high as well?
No, that's
Is
good.
that bias?
I would just
I hate
caution
you.
he did it against a team that quit. But he's stacking good performances. He looks much better since week 3. I'm good with it. But once again, it was against a team that hates their life.
Funny you mentioned that because at number 1, this guy did it against a team that quit and hate their life. I'm going to go with Jared Goff. Jared Goff, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns, and mobile golf.
It's a thing.
5 yards. There's no stopping this man.
Let me tell you something. Jared Goff every week is putting the league on notice with his mobility, his athleticism, his raw speed.
Jaden who?
Get a GPS on him. Solid 13.4 miles per hour.
Right. Lamar is taking notes. Wow, did you see that run that Jared Goff made?
I stopped by a watch party and all they yelled was mobile golf.
Mobile
Here
golf.
we go, mobile golf.
Hey, all I'm waiting for, if I could just make one request, Ben Johnson, if you're out there. Read option.
No.
Goal line, read option.
No.
Come on.
No.
Pull it. Jared Goff scampers into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Jared Goff on the interview. I think I hurt my spleen, coach.
Touchdown, mobile golf. Can Dapper Dan give us a mobile golf at some point?
He probably can, but don't do it. So that's your top 10 quarterbacks
For week 7.
for week 7, and hopefully it wasn't too biased because, yes, Purdy did make the list.
I didn't say it.
97-1.